I am an officer at FedEx Services. I support today FedEx Freight, but I have previously supported FedEx Office, our retail network, as well as FedEx Express, which is our pickup and delivery network. And you know that through the planes and the trucks that you see out and about delivering your packages. But what I would like to do is spend a little bit of time talking about, what we see when we look out in our efforts to hire and recruit and retain talent. We acknowledge as a company that the landscape is changing. We heard a lot this morning about transformation. Every topic was about transformation, whether it's economic development, whether it's how we teach, how we learn, how we approach education, what the millennial workforce is expecting of us. It's all a state of transformation. I mean, how many of you thought 5 years ago you would order your toilet paper on your phone and have it delivered to your front door, right? I mean, who would have thought that? I'm amazed at myself that I do that. And it's embarrassing, to be honest, that we have gotten to that point. But the millennial generation takes it one step further, and I am blessed with 2 children that are millennials. Probably my third is too, now that I think about it. I have 3 that are in the millennial segment, and they are all different. They all have different experiences based on their education, where they go to school, with how they interact with people. But the thing I will tell you is about millennials, and we see this every day when we recruit, they're smarter coming into college than people ever thought about exiting college 20 years ago, right? They go to college because they need to, because it's expected. But honestly, we at FedEx could hire people straight out of high school and get the same value out of many, many of them. And that's challenging us today because we have tremendous incentive programs and benefit packages. And we see kids going to college creating tremendous debts. And so what we would like to do is kind of shake it up a little bit and say, you know what? We don't want to require you to go to college to come work for us in our technology organization. Come to work for us, bring your talent, and if you want to go to school, we'll pay for you to go to school, right? I'm a success story at FedEx, I'll tell you that. I joined FedEx as just a wee little baby right out of high school. FedEx sent me to college. They sent me to do my executive master's degree. And through that investment, I've been a lifelong FedExer. I've been there 32 years. Plan to stay there until they kick me out when I'm unable to be logical, rational, and coherent in the workforce, I suspect. Hopefully I've got a ways to go in that area. But what I will say to you is this: we recognize the points that Matthew was making. We are invested in the millennial workforce. We understand that at FedEx we're 40 plus years old. We have an aging workforce. I consider myself to be in that second tier of agers. I wasn't there when we started the company, but I came shortly after. And we want to change our workforce strategy. We want to change our benefits package. We want to change the environment by which we innovate and we create. Because at the end of the day, FedEx, we're a technology company. We just happen to pick up and deliver packages. Data is our asset, and we value that, and we respect that, and we leverage that in 220 countries around the world. So what I'd like to do is kind of speak to that a little bit. We have in our organization of IT, not just mine, but the broader services IT, over 200 open positions in our company. That's a lot of positions, right? I mean, we work for one of the most respected and admired company in the world. We win awards every year for tremendous brand recognition, for tremendous quality of service, for the most admired company. We make all those lists. We have the best CEO in the world in our chairman, Fred Smith. We also have tremendous leaders, and I'm going to spotlight a few of those in a moment. But what we find is that kids coming out of college really have interesting perspectives. Somewhere along the way, a person coming out of college with a 4-year degree is convinced they're going to make $100,000 right out of the gate, right? Right out of the gate, they're worth $100,000. Well, in our traditional pay structures, in companies in corporate America, it's not really feasible, right? Because you've got employees that have been around for a while that either have just achieved that or are striving to achieve that. So what we're trying to do is to really help our candidates in the recruitment process to understand the value of their talents and the potential that they have within our company. Okay? Potential is an operative word for us because we need to understand what our programs are to take advantage and leverage the potential that we see in our employees and in prospective candidates. We are a very diverse and inclusive company. We pride ourselves in understanding the demographics of our workforce. We are very purposeful in our recruitment and our promotion of minorities and females. And I think that it's important for you to see what that looks like in IT. What we strive to do is to make those investments and create and foster an environment where we can see those advancements as we go through our company. So this is a group of my peers. These are some of the most powerful women that you will ever meet in our corporation. The first two that are elevated slightly, one of them is our Chief Information Security Officer. And you talk about a tough job, right? It is a tough job in our world today with cyber attacks, the threats that are imminent across all companies, and the responsibility of compliance to our board of directors. It is a huge job. And not only is it a tough job, but she has to manage everyone in the company to comply to those expectations. The person next to her is responsible for one of the cornerstone areas in IT, which is our architecture and our infrastructure. Now think about that for a minute. 20 years ago, would you have expected to see a female senior officer responsible for that area of technology? I don't know. I mean, I never saw that 20 years ago. The second row is a list of officers that we have, and these officers are very, very instrumental in creating solutions capabilities in the marketplace to support our customers, also to support the operational aspects of FedEx. But they're doing strategic initiatives. They're doing new products and services development. I support FedEx Freight. Some of my peers support Express. Some of them support the retail network. I mean, these are movers and shakers. And guess what? They didn't all come up through the STEM field. Because the thing that we know about being in technology is that it's not always about having core backgrounds in math or science or technology. It's about having the aptitude to understand technology, because technology is no longer sitting there coding, right? Technology is having a very strong understanding of the business and the capabilities that you're trying to support and deliver. And it also is around the style of leadership that we need in our leaders. For example, you think about the differences between a male and a female leader. Both are equally strong and both have important roles to play. But we are very thoughtful in where we position people because of the needs of an organization, whether it's in a state of transformation, whether it's in a mature, whether it needs to be restructured. So we look at the various leaders that we have and we play to their strengths. And so I'm very proud just to show you from a female and technology perspective this collage. And I challenge you, and it's a call to action for you in your areas of influence, whether it's in your corporate world, your academic world, in the development that you do in nonprofits, entrepreneurial, is to leverage the talents of a diverse organization. Whether it's diversity in gender, diversity in thought, in leadership, in style. But if you look around the table by which you are leading and you don't see diversity, I will challenge you as to whether or not you'll ever achieve a truly high-performing organizational outcome. Because we know that when we don't have dynamic, challenging thought leadership, that we truly do not achieve those outcomes that we need.